Well, hello everybody, welcome back to episode 382 of my Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. I'm IVATOPIA and she's just been confronting all my members here. I really like that she confronted him. Basically, she confronts him and he... Gist of it's like, you're wrong, basically. And then she gave him another thingy and he starts sweating. So shut him up for once. She confronted a little dwarf with us, not Signal Tiffy, the other dwarf. And she gave her an answer, yeah, I'm fine with that, basically. And then... the bird woman, she did the same with her, and she's I'm fine with that. And then she finally confronted the grieving mother, who seems like she understood her. So, and now we're on this bit. We didn't read last episode. So I find out what this. You feel the weight of her translucent eyes upon your soul. What if we can be assured of nothing? Oh fudge! I got an answer. I mean, like, yeah, they got you there, they got you, got yeah, and then like sugars down me. Oh, okay. What if we can be assured of nothing? And the only value is the things we create ourselves? So far, yeah. Then we have best build our own strength so we can bear it. Ooh, I don't know. I've kind of mixed both of them. Hopefully this one gets better. Then only when we cease to exist as beings can peace be found. Nah, that's a little rubbish. That's top 2 so far. Then it is the question that have always posed more value than their answers. Huh. Then it's the question that's always posed more value than the answers. Then the fewer people who realise that, the better. Yeah. Then all we can do is endure. That's not bad. Top two in that one. I don't know. Okay. Bottom 2 and the top 2. What if you can be assured of nothing? Then all we can do is endure. Yeah, I guess that is it, isn't it? One is then the only value is the things we create ourselves. And we had best build our own strength so we can bear it. I'll go with that one.
It can't be that grim. The challenges we endure, the choices we make in the face of hardship, those things shape us.
The smear of paint across on his face warps with a scowl.
The wheel would seem to grant us little choice in the matter. Yet surely we are capable of more than mere endurance. Surely when the truth is laid bare to all, this suffering can truly be overcome.
Was laid bare to all, yeah, but the thing is, half the time I don't believe you, so it doesn't get laid bare, does it?
I ask these things not to trouble you, but to show why they must be confronted. No answer is simple, but somewhere between them all lies a truth so beautiful, not even a god could conceive it. Do we not owe ourselves a chance to find our part in it?
I see something in your expression and shifts tone. We do, even without assurance, there is still truth. No, people need to know that things happen for a reason. A fabricated reason is better than none. No. Fabricated, no. I prefer that one. We do, even without assurance, there's still truth. Because then, to me, that's saying basically we're still looking for truth in the situation, aren't we? Truth is what's most important. But here's basically, no, people need to know things happen for a reason. Because, yeah, I agree with that to a certain extent, but not by fabricating it. Okay, sorry about that. Got interrupted. Okay, I hate when I get interrupted, especially when we're in important parts. You know, my brain's going like mad, like working this out, getting it through. It's a really good moment, and I interrupted. It just froze me. I really hate that. I can't wait to run on place away from this. Okay, what was I doing? Do we not owe ourselves a chance to find our part? Oh, I was trying to explain why I thought the stuff, didn't I? We do, even without assurance, there is still truth. Like that, I think is what I'm going to go with. No, people need to know the things happen for a reason. I agree with that, but a fabricated reason is better than none. I don't agree with that. It needs to be a real reason. You don't want to just make stuff up for the sake of it, because that's pointless. I don't think it makes much difference. No, I'm going to go with the top one. We do, even without assurances, there is still truth.
If that is truly what you believe, then you are a far different person than the one I knew.
Okay. What do you go with the old one?
I've been alone here with my thoughts for so long now. I've found peace with my failures, and with my punishment. I no longer curse fate for what might have been. But there is one thing that has clawed and scraped at my mind all these years. One thing that will not be put to rest until I know.
Because I said
until I understand.
Oh, she finished. I said I can't see them now. I think I would have liked to pick 1 and 2, a combination of them. Basically what he said, but we should all be striving to always find out the truth, but it shouldn't be lied about, is the gist of it, what I would have gone with. For the first time, hints of doubt trace her Sahia Vista, Vision or whatever.
I need to know why you chose to remain with the Inquisition.
I don't know.
Even after you'd learned the truth. Do you remember?
No. Like I said, up to this conversation, I didn't even think... I thought you were mistaking me for your brother. Right now I'm thinking we are brother and sister. So, no, I don't remember that. Let's see what the answers are. Actually, as the memory springs to your mind immediately as for what had just happened. Okay, hopefully it will give me a lie or not then if it's sprung to my mind. Your teachings were a threat to all I believed in. Okay. Where's the thing to say it's truth or not? I resent you. What the hell? That's mean. Okay, I feel these are just choices still, in the sense it's not actually what I see. I will prefer it actually tell me what happened, the way you felt, and I could lie or tell the truth about it. So I've got to basically guess, even though it said my memories come back to me, what seems silly, I've got to guess the way my character felt at that point. I resent you, I wanted to please the gods, no, you're captured, brought me glory, I was afraid of what Thanos might do to me if I didn't agree to do it. That might make more sense. I don't think I had a reason, I just did it. Sorry, there's no assurances. No assurances? What the hell does that even mean? There are no assurances. Okay, that one does make sense. Your teachings were a threat to all I believed in. Like me personally, that's stupid. So, I resent you, and I don't see why I'd resent you. I wanted to please the gods. Again, my character's not really into believing in the gods that much, so... Capture brought me glory. I can see that, I get paid for it. I was afraid of what Thanos... I think I'll go with the Thanos one.
Woodica gifted him a great many things, but his ability to manipulate was always his own. Good.
Thanks for awakening.
The things I taught, the things I believed, I needed to hear that. I needed to know it wasn't because...
Because I thought Thanos was right. Because I doubted you. Because of what? Spit it out. Because of what? Because after everything you've learned, you still rather believe in a lie. That's the conclusion people reach once they know everything. Then my purpose has been a mistake. Did my opinion matter so much to you? That seems a harsh connection to draw. You were naive to be so trusting people. Did my opinion matter so much to you?
I've always looked up to you, since we were children.
Thank you.
You had heard both sides, seen everything. If not you, then who?
You're never going to be able to convince anyone of anything, true or not. There will always be dissent. I see your point. Your optimism has always been misplaced. That's why you're here now. Yeah, I kind of think that one. After going with the COVID situation with some people, like I'm sick and tired of people come up to me. Well, I think it's fake. It's our government trying to control us. Like how, no offense, how stupid can that be? Because that's again assuming, because you know I'm from Britain, I'm living in America right now. That's assuming that American government's running the world. What that isn't the case. American government runs America. British government runs Britain. Germans run Germans. Germany runs Germans. Germany runs. Oh my god, I can't even say it correctly now. The German government runs Germany. That's what I was trying to say. You know, the Italian one does Italy. You know, that sort of thing. But when they come out and say that to me, it's just stupid because you're acting like America is the world, and it's not. There's other countries in the world. Some are just as important, some less, some more. Depending on the situation, when I say some less, some more. Because I remember one of my first memories of America, when I first moved over here. Was it when I moved? No, it was when I first travelled here to meet Tiffy for the first time. I remember sitting in the airport, because we had had to have a layaway, don't they, between the airports. I can't remember if it's Chicago or JFK, whichever one it was. Either way, it doesn't really matter. On the news, they had their president at the time. What's this? Obama, was it? I think he was the president at the time. It was back in 2010, so I think it was him. Again, I won't take much notice of it because again, I'm from Britain, but at the time. Anyway, I believe he was the president, and he was on their... I remember about a week earlier with Tiffy, we were going through, because we compared the countries. Like, we're looking at the best schools in the world, the best police in the world, the best, you know, that sort of stuff. And I forgot, because this is data from, like I said, it's 2021 now, so way to over 10, 11 years ago. And at the time, I remember looking at it, and the only thing America was best at, I don't think they were best at anything. I think most things, they were third, or they were sixth, or they were ninth in the world over stuff. Like, other places were better in aspects, like the best English class, for example. Like, again, I could not remember the data, but just hypothetically say it was Italy, for example. The best in maths was Britain. Again, I'm probably completely forgetting these wrong, but the point is, it wasn't America. America was like 7th, or 3rd, or 11th in science and stuff like that. And then I remember sitting there, and their presidents sitting there, we are the best in the world at science, maths, math, they always have the S of it, English, you name it, they were. And I remember sitting there thinking, you're blatantly lying to them all. We literally looked this up, me and Tiffy. And you that one you were 3rd, that one you were 7th, that one you were 11th, and you're saying you're the best in the world at all these. Like, why are you lying? And I feel that's the mentality, not with every American, obviously, because it's like with Thingy, you don't blanket everybody. But with a lot of them, that we are the world, we are the best. And that means if there's problems over here, it's our government's running everything. Like, that's not true. You've got to get out your little bubble, or in this case, I guess, a big bubble. And I feel that's basically Magister's what's happening with this. You're never going to be convinced everyone, truth or not. And that's the thing with the COVID, that's really got that across with these people going around saying it's fake. So you're saying, that over 1 million plus people have died from it. They died of a illness. Like, have some compassion, but be real. Like, I had one turn around and say, well, the numbers are wrong. What do you mean the numbers are wrong? Well, the news is stating it's, again, don't know exact numbers they're going on about, but there's something like, 1,062,000 died when actually it was just 1 million, or something like that. And I'm thinking, what does it matter? The point is still the point. I don't care if it's 1 million people died, 1,062,000 and 0.2. I don't know how you get 0.2, but you know my point. Like, just because they inflated this number doesn't stop the other 1 million people who are dead because of this disease. Or this virus, whatever you want to call it, does it? And I feel like a lot of them, like, if it doesn't affect me, it doesn't matter. And that's why the whole thing, you should wear a mask when you go out and stuff. You should try to be considerate. But they don't. Like, I've heard this a lot of times over here too. What was it? It's against my First Amendment right. Or against my freedoms to have to wear a mask. And I remember talking to some Americans who basically, like, I asked them, I always thought the whole point of the First Amendment, freedoms and rights and all that stuff, is you have the right to live, not the right to take someone else's life from them. And they said, yeah, you're right. And that's the whole thing with the mask situation. Like, so if you want to basically, because that's the thing with, like, smoking versus drink and alcohol. I feel alcohol is better than smoking. And when I say smoking, I mean like the hard stuff, the stuff that's I don't know. I don't do drugs, so I don't really know. The only class of drugs I guess I do is probably drink sometimes, and it's very rare. But my point is, I feel that's a better thing, because when you have alcohol, you have one glass, you maybe a little tipsy, maybe it doesn't infect you, depending who you are. At the end of the day, as long as you don't drive or work heavy machinery, you hurt nobody. You have 6, 8, 10, and then you start going around punching people driving. Yeah, that's completely different. But I mean, on a normal circumstance. But if you have some of these hard, smoky drugs, you sit there in a group and you pull one of them out, you're giving everyone secondhand smoke. Now everyone's getting high off this drug and could be affecting them. Because like I said, you could take something, have a bad reaction to it, and it could kill you. And I feel that's why I feel drinks basically safer and less... what's the word I'm looking for? Less rude, I guess. And because drink, if you sit there in a group of 6 and you're the only one having 1 or 2 glasses of drink, and normally it takes you 6 or 7 to get basically, pie-faced or whatever, you're hurting nobody. And as long as someone else is driving you home or you're walking home, you're hurting nobody. But if you're sitting there smoking this stuff in a group and they don't touch this stuff, someone could have a bad reaction to whatever this stuff is and could die from it. Others could get high, don't even realise they are because they're not used to this. They think you're just doing a regular cigarette or something, not used to it, and end up driving, and it could... You see my point? That's why I feel like... And I feel that's with COVID. Yes, you may not have it, but the thing is, you don't know for sure. So just be respectful. Even if you don't think you have it, you could be a lucky person who caught it, had no symptoms, but you're still carrying it. You're vaccinated, you can still catch it and give it to someone else. You know, you're less likely to die of it because you catch it. But I feel some people, I'm vaccinated now, I can go around with no mask, I can go around and I can have like 100 people in a party and all that stuff, and I just think it's selfish. And that's why this whole thing here, like I'm saying, why it links to this. You can't convince some people. Because like I said, when we Tiffy, we look up the data and everything we look at, it shows people dying, it shows all this stuff, and yet we've been told by Americans over here that it's fake. The government's doing it. Oh, masks don't work in any say. Everyone's walking around with double masks now. So I've only seen that once, and it was on a prank. You know, like a prank video. And all this. Well, the news is giving the data wrong because... Oh, and that's another big one. No one dies of any disease now. Everything's COVID. It's like, that's a load of bull. Like, where are you getting this rubbish from? Because, like, my stupid old Tiffy, she knows somebody, one of her friends, somebody, like, a friend's aunt or something died. Wasn't COVID. We actually, another friend of her work died recently, heart attacks, nothing to do with COVID. Obviously, if you're a wrestling fan, you know, a few months back, Brody Lee died with some lung disease or something. I forgot what that thing was, but they specifically said it wasn't COVID. So when people said, well, every disease is COVID. Oh, there's been no flus this year, it's just COVID. It's like, no, there has been. You know, people still dying of other things. They're like trying to say, if you're in a car accident, they'll turn around and say it's COVID. It's like, no, if you're in a car accident, you're in a car accident. You know, it's just crazy. And I didn't think people would be that, I don't know what the correct term is, that's so biased against the truth, and it's ridiculous. And that's why, again, why this makes sense, because I'm linking to this. You're never going to be able to convince everyone of anything, true or not. They will always be dissent, because I've seen it so much over here. I feel like talking back home with my mum and stuff in Britain, again, not blanking at everything, in general seems to be doing what they're supposed to be doing. A lot of the countries seem to be doing what they're supposed to do. Yes, you're going to have the few people who dissent who don't really care. Hence, like this says. But I feel my general look over here, most people whining they have to wear masks in America, at least in the area I'm in. Oh, that's the other thing too. Oh, everyone in America is catching this, except for people in Kentucky. That was another rubbish that came, someone was saying. And then about a couple of weeks later, half the people who were saying that had it. Like, yeah. Oh, another one. Oh, this was a good one. Americans can't catch it. Only foreigners can bring it in. And I'm thinking, are you trying to aim that like at me because I'm from Britain? So you're saying I can catch it, but you lot can't? Again, it doesn't work that way. You can catch it just as easy as I can catch it. Well, I said some of the rubbish that's been spouting with the people around me over here is ridiculous. And you tried to tell them, basically, you know, I don't know where you're getting this stupid data from, but if you just look it up, instead of believing wherever you're hearing this from, and actually look it up properly yourself, instead of being a sheep, you would understand, you know, basically, that it is a real disease. Doesn't matter if a million have died versus 1,067,000, and the actual number is 1 million versus 1,067,000. People still died. If it's one person died, they died. Because I also feel it's quite insulting because, as you know, if you watch my channel, I've spoken it a few times. My dad died of swine flu, and I remember the news back home telling everyone how safe it was. You're only at risk if you think you're a young child or an old person. It basically, in other words, my dad was 48, had a full physical 6 months earlier, completely healthy. My mum was only a year older, completely healthy. She runs a gym back then, so super healthy. Obviously, I can't remember my age back then. I got married when I got over, I was 27, so I was 26 or 25. 1 and 9 roughly, without trying to work it out exactly. So obviously, it shouldn't have affected any of us. Yeah, I was ill like hell. My mum was ill like hell. My dad was ill. He seemed to get over it. Then I got over it. Then mum got over it. And then my dad seemed to go back, basically. And then I went back to work for the first time. And then got called out after being there an hour or two. Basically, rush home, and my dad's dead. They do the autopsy, all that stuff. He had swine flu, and they said you and your mum more likely had it too, but there's no way proving it because you're both over it now. So for something that was so safe, and then I'm over here, and everything, the whole world, not just America, the whole world, news is telling people how dangerous this is. So if you're saying all these people, these million people have died from this fake disease, then what does that make swine flu? That was supposed to be super safe in comparison. In comparison. And I lost my dad, so you're saying my dad's dead because of a fake disease, and I found that very hurtful and bull. So yeah, I may be a bit more cautious over it than some other people. Well, I'm a lot more cautious than a lot of people over here, because half of them don't seem to give a flying flip, or don't want to swear, you know, basically about it. But my thing is, if you want to go and sit in a corner, drink yourself to your death, hang yourself, whatever, that's up to you. It's your decision. You're hurting no one else other than the people that care for you. But if you basically want to go out and have your chainsaws and chopping people's heads off theoretically, then again, you're hurting other people, obviously, and that shouldn't be that shouldn't be allowed. Like, if you want to go out and risk your health with COVID, that's up to you, but you should risk other people at the same time. That's what I'm trying to get at. You know, just be respectful of other human beings. Don't be all about yourself. Like, even though you're like, well, I don't really believe in this, but all these other people do, and I should be respectful of them to not endanger them. Just being respectful, just being a decent human being, basically. So yeah, I'm going to go with, you're never going to be able to convince everyone of anything. True or not, there will always be dissent.
I expected dissent, but I needed to know that true faith would prevail. Perhaps I've been wrong to place so much importance on one person's actions. It was all I could do to feel like there was an answer.
And I realised about 21, going on 22 minutes. See if she finishes the conversation.
Even knowing what you've told me, some part of me knows it doesn't truly answer what I wished to know. Nor will an eternity of silent contemplation. I will have only my guesses and suspicions, and that will have to do. And what of your understanding of our past? Are you at ease with the choice you made?
I see the world differently now than I once did. I regret what I did to you, and I wish you forget. Yeah, that makes sense. Do it again, give it a chance. No. It wasn't me who made that choice. I bear no response. I feel it should be that one, but I feel that one too, because I don't remember my character ever doing this. So technically it should be that one, but if she's telling the truth and this is his soul, then I should take responsibility for it. It's about being a decent human being, so go with that.
I have always forgiven you. Whatever your reason, no quarrel of ideas can sever ties of blood and essence. No parting of ways can erase memories of times without worry. Times when even without gods, we were never truly alone. At first I thought this might be the source of your soul's anguish. But now I see I was mistaken. You are not divided on this matter. You have put it behind you.
Thank you.
It is with Theos that your agony lies, in sun and shadow. Your questions are not for me, but for him. And it may be that only an answer from the mouth of Theos himself will satisfy your needs.
Oh, she's going through that stuff there.
Yet if there is anything I can tell you that would be of use, ask and you shall know.
Are you bound here until the end of time? You know, we're at 23 minutes. I should really stop this episode. We got a bit way longer than we needed to. So next episode we'll finish the conversation with her. Anyway, I mean, IVATOPIA, you've been awesome. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and good stuff. And see you next time. And of course, keep being awesome and be safe, obviously. See you next time. Bye.